This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Nick George.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a CBD company that really knows its stuff? Well, one might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Jason Castellano, if I pronounced that right. Jason, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Excellent.
Excellent.
We're excited to learn all about you and your apothecary. It also does mushrooms. It also is a mushrooms and apothecary business, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
I could have practiced that more before we started. We're excited to learn all about it. So tell us about your company.
Yeah. Nick, thank you so much for having me on the show. I am, we are thrilled to be here in Northern Colorado. And a little bit about our business is that we really specialize in what I would call preventative care and helping people to kind of connect the dots when it comes to different ways that it is that we can have preventative care for certain ailments, and doing that in a way that really promotes, natural medicine, plant-based medicine without the side effects that it is you find through a lot of traditional medicine avenues. And so for us, that is everything from, tinctures, topicals, roll-ons, mushrooms, different types of functional mushrooms, different herbs and essential oils, and being able to group these things together in such a way that an end user can find some really great results for whatever it is that they're dealing with, without all of the different side effects that they may find in other places.
Are you even allowed to name things that it helps with without getting into trouble, or do you have to? Are you kind of hoping that your crowd is already educated before they walk in the door, so you don't have to have those discussions?
Sure. A lot of the time, what I do is I do a lot of listening, and so I can't necessarily say, "Hey, this is going to do this" or "This is going to do that," but we can definitely point you in the direction of certain things which are going to be beneficial, where a person can either take our word for it or they can go ahead and do some research, which there's plenty of places online where they can do research about the different cannabinoids and about the different functional medicines, functional mushrooms that it is that we carry, and can really find that, wow, these things could be very, very beneficial based on their circumstance.
So how did you get into this business?
Yeah, I got into this business it started back in 2007. I started as a medical marijuana caregiver after a accident that I experienced myself, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But it was a long, arduous process of trying to find products for me that worked. And so I went on this extensive journey of trying to find, it was really pain relief for myself. I was dealing with some serious issues following a motorcycle accident that I was in 2004 that left me with widespread body pain without really any solutions. I was getting a lot of information from the doctors of just saying, this is something you're going to deal with for the rest of your life. Just get used to it. And that to me did not sit well. And so I was like, all right, this isn't going to work long term. At the time when that had happened to me, I was young. I was 27 years old when I had that 21 years old when I had that motorcycle accident. But when I was about 27, 28 is really when it started pushing me towards how can I figure out a way to address these things naturally without taking, the painkillers and the muscle relaxers and all of these different things that I had been on for years. And so took a direction from the Western medicine into cannabis, which I found tremendous benefit in. But following that, there were a lot of changes that took place around 2012 with the law changes in Colorado, moving from a place where it was mainly medical based into a place where then it became recreational. And I found that in around 2012, when it became recreational, the quality on a lot of the cannabis products went way down because it became very commercialized, which opened up a different area for us to kind of move into the space with providing high quality products And that's really how we've been able to stand out and to make our company stand out from some of the other products that are available on the market, is that we have a very strict focus on quality and addressing some underlying stuff that really makes a huge difference in the long run.
No THC?
No THC. I mean, there is a
Residual.
There's a minimal amount of THC in hemp products, but our focus isn't on the THC or on anything that is intoxicating, which is also a huge benefit, because a lot of folks are not interested in that. And I found that myself as well, where it was like, all right, yeah, THC works great for, a lot of different things, and especially people that are dealing with nerve pain, but it can also, kind of incapacitate people if you have to be high all day long, or if you have to be taking concentrates, which really, they work good for the body, and on the other side, they can cause some other challenges. And so being able to discover, when we were growing marijuana back in like 2007 to 2012, our main focus was on actually harvesting the cannabis plant where it had a higher level of CBD concentration and a lower level of psychoactivity. And you just do that by letting the plant go a little bit longer. But we found that is really where the medicinal benefits were coming from that. And so having seen the industry kind of develop here over the years, it's been really amazing to have the opportunity to have CBD-based plants or CBG-based plants that address a lot of these medicinal things that we were looking for back in the cannabis industry that were just simply not available.
Yeah. When my family came in town, my dad was real nervous about trying to attack some joint pain that he had by walking into a dispensary, because he felt like it was some kind of novelty thing in Amsterdam, and he just felt immature being there or something.
Sure.
And but your store would make people that are serious about alleviating pain not have any of those concerns when they walk in there. Nobody's walking in that store to get whacked out, right? Everybody's there for serious adult business.
That's right. And, even some people that show up here looking for that, after we explain, the different benefits, a lot of them end up being like, what, maybe I was looking for the wrong thing. Maybe my focus was on this when there were some other things that would also be beneficial for me. So we kind of stand as that gap where we want to help to educate. Believe that education is a very, very key element to this, because when you understand what's happening, well, it kind of connects the dots, and you can make better wellness decisions for yourself and for your family.
Any myths or misconceptions in your industry that we might not be aware of that you could clear up for us?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a big one in the cannabis industry just as a whole, but especially in CBD. I find that there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to, what makes a good quality hemp product. And so some people would say, oh, well, it needs to be a 99.9% pure CBD isolate. That is the purest form of CBD that it is that you can possibly get. And while that makes a real compelling argument, there's other plant components that all work synergistically together, and all of them produce the entourage effect as they're working together. So what our goal is here is to take the guesswork out of all of that stuff. My specialty really was in not only growing cannabis, but also in cannabis extracts. So when I'm working with farmers and when I'm working with people who are doing the extractions, for us, in this case, it only happens to be one farmer who's doing organic farm with an organic extraction facility. I know what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a good quality starting hemp extract, and that converts to, a good end user product. And so I think we like to take kind of the guesswork out of saying CBD is a one size fits all, which sounds nice. And I wish that it worked that way, but really there's a lot of other cannabinoids when we can get targeted with it. Let me just give you an example. Let's just say like cognitive function or anything along those lines, when it would come to concentration or focus, or maybe feeling a little a little bit anxious or something like that. A lot of people would think, okay, CBD is going to be a great, use for this. And I would agree that if you get a good full spectrum product, you're going to have some components in there, mainly the CBG, that really works very well with cognitive function, calm, relax, focus without being tired. But when somebody's dealing with something like, say, anxiety or cognitive function or something like that, it's the CBG that's really helping them. So instead of giving you a full spectrum product that has a small amount of CBG, we have a full spectrum CBG product that actually addresses that. So you get better results using smaller amounts when you have the right product. And so for me, it's fascinating to be able to kind of connect those dots for people, because sometimes people are like, well, I don't know why it is that this one worked for me, or I'm not sure why it is that this would be the right product. And we just want to connect those dots so people can make a good informed decision without wasting a whole bunch of money, because sometimes these products can cost a little bit more. But at the same time, like when we're addressing whole body wellness, when you get the right product, it makes all the difference in the world.
Right. We understand that marketing is the heart of every business. What's the most successful way that you market yourself now? Do you have an awesome location, or is it just word of mouth, internet?
Yeah. So I started my business. I was actually very fortunate to start my business online. And so my business model went a little bit different than normally with starting with a storefront or something like that. I started online. And so I started with a better online presence. And in 2018, I had moved into a storefront in downtown Loveland, Colorado. And that has been a huge blessing in terms of being able to have people into a storefront where they can actually see the physical products and interact, and being able to give, personal one-on-one attention to each customer, which is really important to me. But I'd say when it comes to marketing, CBD is a very difficult space because they don't allow marketing anywhere. So we can't pay for any type of paid advertising. There's no real good way to market this product. I know that some companies have figured that out. I'm not sure how it is that they get around some of those blocks. But for me, it has mainly been word of mouth and personalized care for each individual. And what I've found with that is just, showing attention to each individual and then showing like results that actually works. It's a very easy thing then to invite each customer to say, hey, is there anyone that it is that that would benefit from products like these? And so we get a lot of word of mouth referrals. I'd actually say that the majority of our business is going to be word of mouth referrals from people that have enjoyed our product, that have enjoyed working with us, that have raving reviews of how intentional the care it is that they got when they contacted us was. And that wasn't something that they had experienced other places. And so they'll refer us their friends and their family and everybody. And that's been a huge blessing. Apart from that, I've got some white hat SEO stuff that it is that I've done personally that some of these companies charge a lot of money to do some of that stuff. But I've learned some little tips and tricks, beyond that, that's given me some good visibility. But that's the name of the game is having visibility.
Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
I don't know that I would say I do a podcast yet, but I do some other stuff, but it's kind of on a different front. But no, I actually haven't thought about doing a podcast on that. I probably should.
Outside of work, what do you do for fun?
So I have a beautiful family. I've got an incredible wife and two girls, and we love to go to the lake and spend time together as a family, going to the park. The girls are young; they're just about teenagers right now, and so, but yeah, just a lot of fun stuff together as a family. Me personally, I love to golf. That's been a huge blessing for me. Even though I don't do as much crazy stuff as I used to do. I used to be a bit of an adrenaline junkie. And so try to kind of, tone myself down a little bit on that now that I've got kiddos and responsibilities.
That segues us into my next question. We're going to switch gears now. Can you describe a hardship, Jason, or a life challenge that you overcame? I know there was one. And tell us how it made you stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2004, I was in a very severe motorcycle accident where I got T-boned by a truck, had an external fracture of my tibia and fibia, shattered my femur bone. And that's kind of what led into this whole entire business as a whole. But I learned a lot through this challenge of having to, really be confronted with life, confronted with the meaning of life, confronting with, how I was going to overcome this challenge now that I was faced, at the age of 21 with having some severe chronic pain throughout my body. And I actually dealt with that very, very severely until about 28 or 29 years old, which I found some solutions that were incredibly beneficial and incredibly helpful. One of them, I'd actually say, to overcome a lot of this, it actually came down to faith for me, where it was like, I found the source of life. And when I found the source of life, the other stuff started to make sense, and everything started to fall into place where I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the meaning. And so I got to give credit to God for that, because he was the one who rescued me, and really just brought me into this place of understanding the true meaning of life. And having walked through that, it's been an incredible blessing, because I get to meet with people every single day that are dealing with challenges, and being able to encourage them through these hardships, being able to encourage them from a place of being able to not only relate to them, but offer some different things that I have found personal in my own life when it comes to overcoming trauma, overcoming like PTSD, overcoming all of these different things. Just being able to share what it is that I've learned from that, because that to me it burdened me for years. I mean, it plagued me for years, and I just didn't know. So,
Jason, please tell our listeners one thing they should absolutely remember about Selah Organics CBD store and mushroom apothecary.
Yeah.
And also tell us what your shirt says so we know what Selah means while you're telling us the one thing they should remember.
Yeah, absolutely. So Selah, it actually comes from the Psalms, and it just means to pause, reflect, and praise. And so I always look at that where it's like, sometimes it's very easy to go after things where we're striving to try to gain certain things. We're trying to find this peace. We're trying to find life through external things. But something that God's just taught me is just in the midst of those moments, pause, reflect, and give thanks for what it is that's already been provided. And in the midst of that, it just sets our heart in just in a beautiful posture to be able to receive everything that it is that we need. Because we have a motto around here that free life rocks. I have my daughter, she makes these little cool life rocks, but we say free life rocks. And it's something where it's like, man, everything is provided for us as a free gift. And so when we can take a moment to pause, to reflect, and to receive, there's a big difference there. And then you were saying, let's see here. Oh,
one thing that
you should remember about Selah. So one of my big focuses here is that a product is only as good as the ingredients that are used to make it. So all of the products that it is that we make at Selah Organics, whether, and we have other non-CBD products. I mean, we sell everything from, tinctures, topicals, roll-ons, organic herbs, essential oils, the mushrooms, all of those things. But the main focus is that a product can only be as good as the ingredients which are used to make it. And so we don't cut corners when it comes to quality. We believe that very thing, that we're going to use good, high quality starting ingredients, and that's going to produce a good, high quality user experience as they use the products. And I think that reflects through the products and through the people and through testimonies that are given about them. And so, our focus there is going to be on quality.
Jason, tell us all your online addresses so that listeners can learn more about you online.
Yeah, absolutely. So online, you can find us at selahorganics.com. That's just www.selahorganics.com. You can also find us in downtown Loveland. We're located at 526 North Cleveland Avenue in Loveland, Colorado. Our telephone number here, if you ever have any questions, is 970-6. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 720-609-7105. Again, that's 720-609-7105. And so you can also find us on Facebook and stuff like that. We don't do as much on Facebook as what we used to, but you can definitely find us online there. We update that from time to time as well.
And guys, Selah is spelled Selah, just so that you know.
Yep.
Jason, we really appreciate you being on our show, and we definitely wish you and Selah Organics the very best moving forward.
Hey, thank you so much, Nick. Great to be on the show, and I appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpfortcollins.com. That's gnpfortcollins.com or call 970-438-0825.